Putting the lens on Grenada, its people and its possibilities. This is State of Affairs. Reporting this week, I am Raul Titus. In this week's show, a special curtain raiser as Grenada prepares to welcome the Caribbean Premier League and the world. The story of how CPL will pump millions into the local economy and expand GDP. Also, an exclusive chat with the CPL Director of Operations, Michael Hall. And in a special treat on this State of Affairs season ender, Grenadian songbird Sabrina captures the heart of Europe. We have the performances and the testimony as proof. Darrell Friday produces, while Abigail McIntyre and Trevor Thwaites all report from the Grenada heartland when we come back. Welcome back. We are days away from the launch of the 2014 edition of the Caribbean Premier League in Grenada as excitement builds across this tri-island state. Coupled with the eagerness to see the best cricketers around the world battle in nail-biting action on the field of play are prospects of a lift in the local economy. The St. Lucia economy grew by 0.7% as a result of hosting CPL matches last year. Antigua's GDP expanded by 0.67%. CPL is pumping millions into the Grenada economy as an audience of over 200 million persons spanning several continents are expected to be lured by the unspoilt beauty of the Spice Isle. Abigail McIntyre reports on what CPL means for the local economy and the development of youth cricket.
Grenadians, like much of the Caribbean, love the game of cricket. It's the type of sport that brings people together, tearing down barriers of race, social stature, and gender. This year, Grenada ushers in the second edition of the Caribbean Premier League, hosting the first 2 days as well as the opening ceremony. It's carded for July 11 and 12. And according to organizers, it's the biggest party in sports for the summer. The Caribbean Premier League, or CPL, seeks to develop youth cricket in the region. The Grenada Cricket Association's grassroots program is filled with youngsters beaming with excitement on the eve of what is expected to be a star-studded, action-packed event. The grassroots program was set up by the West Indies Cricket Board as a means of developing the skills of the sport among boys and girls. State of Affairs met with some of the bright-eyed young players during one of their training sessions.
Well, it feels very wonderful. Get to see the star players from different countries around the world coming to play in Grenada. It will be very fun and exciting.
Well, it's excited. Grenada get exposures. It will be fun experience. The first time Grenada holding CPL.
I'm very happy. Finally, Grenada will get some exposure. They'll get more revenue because tourists shall come to see the CPL. So hopefully, it will be a great thing for the country.
And as a cricketer, how do you feel about it?
And as a cricketer, I feel excited.
The Ministry of Youth Empowerment and Sports is working their fingers to the bone to ensure a smooth running of the match on July 11 and 12 in Grenada. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mrs. Vida Bruno Victor, says it's a challenging process.
The Ministry and the Cricket Association is looking after the cricket operation side of the CPL. That is to say that we are making sure that it happens. The ground is ready, everything for the cricketers, the players' pavilion, everything that says cricket. From the time we pick them up on the airport until we drop them back to go on to the next location. So everything that is for that, we are looking after. The scoreboard, the officials for that, the Duckworth Lewis officials, everything that has to do with the game itself is what we are going to be looking after.
An organizing committee has been set up and is led by PS Bruno Victor, and Vice Chair is Barry Collymore. Other members include officials from the Ministry of Sports, the Grenada Cricket Association, the Royal Grenada Police Force, and professional event planners. Officials are confident Grenada's hosting of the CPL is going to bring many benefits to both the local economy and the development of the sport. Being held in one of the slowest tourist months, July, the game is expected to bring in enough officials and players to fill two of our largest hotels. When the game was held last year, countries like St. Lucia benefited tremendously. There was a direct estimated spending of $2 million on matches. This impacted 8 different sectors, including transport, hotels, and healthcare. At the end, the total contribution of CPL over the 3-day period in St. Lucia represent 0.7% of GDP. A study by the University of the West Indies even showed that the CPL generated a combined figure of $105.6 million across the region. Now it's Grenada's time to cash in.
The CPL brings with it exciting cricketers, first of all, and cricketers like to see cricketers. They like to come out and to look at the people that they admire most, and so it helps with development of the sport. When I played netball, when we saw good netballers playing, we come out and we look at them. We look at how they warm up. So we expect that the cricketers would come to see how they're warming up for a 20 over, how they're playing, how they're approaching the game, because it is a learning experience for our players.
When we spoke to a number of persons in other countries, they spoke of the fact that a number of youngsters were now coming back into the game simply because they were exposed to the professional players as well as their own local players. St. Lucia, for example, would have had a Darren Sammy, a Johnson Charles, interacting with some of the players from the UK, from Pakistan, from Sri Lanka. We would like our players to be a part of that as well. All of the young players that you see in our grassroots programs, the kiddie cricket programs, we feel that if they're at the games, that they can use it as a motivating factor.
We haven't had any substantial cricket or international cricket in Grenada for quite some time, and it's a fine opportunity for the local administration, the Grenada Cricket Association, to show in fact that they're prepared for a high-class regional tournament, and a tournament that will be beamed all throughout the world, the cricketing world. It'll be a fine opportunity for us to come good, but it's going to be a highly challenging task.
In an effort to spark interest for the games among the nation's youth, the organizing committee is giving free admittance to 2,000 young people who will occupy the Junior Murray Royal Lewis stand. This sits well with cricket enthusiasts who believe that young cricketers should be the chief benefactors from the event.
It's excellent that, if we can get as many youngsters as possible, both male and females, because females are in it as well. I think that's a wonderful gesture by the organizers. We would want to see the whole stadium packed with school persons, and if that can be achieved, that would be great.
So I know that it's going to have an impact on them being here, because they're going to be, first of all, entertained, and some of them, they want to be cricketers, so they're going to be inspired by that. I know some of them would actually go down to see other guys prepare before a game. So they're going to be looking at these players, these professionals, and they're going to see what they have to do to make the next step.
2020 cricket is here to stay. That is the form of the game that is generating a great deal of money and a great deal of interest. And it's a fine opportunity for youngsters who love the game to now see that there is in fact a livelihood, not just at the largest format of the game, which is Test match cricket, but also at the shorter version.
This CPL will be broadcast on television networks around the world, including Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom and Pakistan. It has a potential viewership of over 800 million, visibility which would have cost us millions in marketing.
So we want to encourage everyone to come out and to be a part of this CPL in Grenada.
It's Grenada's time to shine as this nation prepares to welcome not just the CPL, but the world to the Spice Isle. It's also Grenada's time to cash in like other Caribbean islands did last year as a result of the first ever CPL. I am Abigail McIntyre for State of Affairs.
These are the images from across Grenada. This is State of Affairs. More stories from the heartland after this. Michael Hall, the operations director of the Caribbean Premier League, was in St. George's recently to plan with local officials and assess the level of preparations as the Speyside gets ready to welcome the World and CPL matches. Trevor Twits was able to secure an exclusive interview with Hall, as we join him now for an excerpt of that interview.
Great cricket. We have some big international stars coming to play in the CPL this year. Kevin Peterson, as you may have heard, has joined the St. Lucia Zouks, which for all intents and purposes represents Grenada as well. The franchise is domiciled in St. Lucia, but certainly part of the Windward Islands fraternity. A couple of players coming back from last year. Shoaib Malik will be with Barbados. Morley, a fan favorite in the Caribbean, returns to play for the Jamaica Talawas. And one of the more exciting players in T20 cricket who emerged last year against our very own West Indies, Corey Anderson of New Zealand, has joined the CPL. He'll be playing with the Guyana team. There's going to be a lot of great cricket played. The stars are coming back, some new ones are here as well, and we just expect that Grenada will be the perfect place to launch what we expect to be another great season.
Right. The other venues, what can you tell us about the other venues in terms of the hosting of 2014 event?
Well, after the teams get in and get out of Grenada, then the CPL schedule really gets into full swing, and for that first week after the matches are played here, games will be played simultaneously in Guyana and Antigua. Following that leg, games will be played simultaneously in Barbados and Trinidad. Following that, the games move to Jamaica and St. Lucia. And when those games are done, the tournament winds up in Sugar City, St. Kitts, with the staging of the final league games and the semis and the final.
So the 2014 event are scheduled from when to when?
July 11 is the first game of the tournament, and the final is scheduled for Saturday, August 16 at Warner Park in St. Kitts. So 30 matches altogether in just about a 35-day period. Very intense, but we're looking forward to staging it.
Any innovations for 2014? Excitement. There's a word going these days, sport and entertainment, sportainment, to really, get that extra vibes. Any innovations for 2014?
Well, look, again, I just want to put up my hand and say that I'm an operations kind of guy. I'm certain, though, that because the CPL has been dubbed the biggest party in sport, that there will be sufficient party elements around all of the games. Just from a cricketing point of view, though, the format has changed slightly this year. Last year, for the semi-finals, the team that came first in the league played the team that came fourth, and then second played third. This year, what we really want to do is recognize and reward consistent good play throughout the season, so that the team that finishes on top of the league is automatically into the final. And then the elimination games, fourth plays third, and the winner of that plays second, and then the winner of that is in the final. So we want to reward consistent good play throughout the season by saying that whoever comes out on top at the end of the league play is automatically in the CPL final. Last year, first played fourth, and then second played third. So if you won the league last year, you ran the risk of not making the final by being knocked out in the semis.
Like what happened in the regional tournament.
Correct.
Right, and can we take this thing anywhere close to the IPL? We're just starting, yes. But now we've got minds, we've got talent in the West Indies. Can we take this thing
let me put it
close to the IPL?
Yeah, well, let me say it this way then. We certainly believe in the product a great deal, and we believe that in the not too distant future, the IPL might be saying, wonder if we can take it to the level of the CPL.
This is the Grenadian reality. This is our current state of affairs. Regional cricket officials are getting ready for the thrilling launch of the Caribbean Premier League at the National Stadium in St. George's. 3 matches will set the tournament alight when the Guyana Amazon Warriors tackle the Antigua Hawkbills Friday, July 11th. It's a big doubleheader Saturday, July 12th, when the TNT Red Steel face the Barbados Trident in the opener from 10 o'clock in the morning. There's more action from 2 in the afternoon when the St. Lucia Zouk take on the Jamaica Tallawahs. Trevor Thwaites has been following the build-up.